So today we're going over 1.6, directed line segments. This is the last thing we're going to cover before our test. We also are going to have a quiz next Wednesday on the 1.4 to 1.6. So there's a quiz on the second half of the stuff we learned after our first quiz, and then there's a test over everything on Friday. So, this one, it says, given the directed line segment A, B, this means it starts with A, ends with B. Point A is going to be our initial point with our coordinates x sub 1, y sub 1. And point B is the terminal point with coordinates x sub 2, y sub 2. So to partition means to separate or divide a segment. Divide into a given ratio of parts. Okay, so we can partition a line segment into smaller segments and compare their lengths as a ratio. So if I take a look at this line segment, it says if AB is partitioned into 5 congruent parts, give each ratio. So if I count each of these segments, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. How many are in between A to P? Here? No, not dots, line segments. 3. There's 1, 2, 3. And then how many are there to PB? 2. So I can write it this way, or I can write it with colon in between. Both of these mean the same thing. Okay. Then my next one wants me to do AP to AB, so part of the line to the whole line. How long was AP? We already found AP. How long was it? How many parts? 3. And how many is the whole line? 5. So I can write it with the word 2 in between, or I can write it with the colon in between. Okay, so we're doing the same thing down below. In number 1, it wants AP to PB. So how many parts is AP? How many is PB? Okay, so I could write it either way. How many parts is AP? AP. 1. And then AB, 3. Okay, so on number 2, I want to count how many parts are from A to P. Five. And then P to B. 3. Okay. So on the bottom, I want AP, which we know is 5, to AB. I can count all the parts, or I can add up the 2 parts I found before, because those 2 line segments by the angle addition postulate add up together. So 5 plus 3 is 8. So number 3 gives me this line segment, and it wants me to find the coordinates of P such that the ratio of AP to PB is 1 to 3. So it wants me to plot that point. I'm going to draw this sketch out. So I know A to P is 1 line segment, and then P to B is 3. So how many total parts do I have on this line segment? I'm not counting dots, I'm counting line segments. 4. So what do you think I want to do with this line, the actual line that I have? I want to break it up into 4 parts. So before I do that, I want to figure out my slope. How many lines, or not lines, how many squares am I going up from A to B? No. Count again. You're close. 8. And then how many am I going from A to B? 12. So what I can do is I can take these 2 numbers and I can divide by 4 to split them into 4 parts. So I can do 8 divided by 4, which is 2. So I can go up. Let me do this in a different color. I can go up 2, and then I want to do the same thing with my 12. I'm going to take that and divide by 4. 3. And I'm going to go over 3 squares, and I'm going to plot a point. And then I'm going to keep doing this until all of my points are on my graph. So I'm going to go up 2, over 3, and put another point. Up 2, over 3, plot another point. And if I go up 2, over 3 a final time, it puts me at my final point. Okay, so this question wants me to find point P. Which of these is going to be my point P? The first, second, or third dot? Why do I want it to be the first one? What did I have over here? P was the first one over here. So I just need it to match on this line. So I'm just going to write my coordinate point so it's clear because I drew a lot on this picture. So P is at, what's the coordinate point right there? What's my X value of P? And my Y value? Okay, so number 4, it wants me to find the coordinates for P when it's 5/6 of the way along the line from R to T. So I'm going to draw this out over here. How many parts do I want to break it up into since this one's a fraction? 6. One, two, three, four. Okay, where do I want to put the P on this line? Do I want the P closer to R or T? Okay. And then I want to count 5 segments over, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is going to be my P. Okay. So just like on the last one, I want to first count out my rise. So how many am I going from T to R? How many up? And how many am I going left to right from T to R? 12. So this time I want to divide by what? How many total pieces am I trying, or parts am I trying to break it up into? 6. So I'm going to divide by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. So for my new one, I'm going to go up 1 square. And then I'm going to do 12 divided by 6 to figure how many I want to go right. 2. So I'm going to go 2 to the right and put my point. Then I'm going to go ahead and repeat this until I've broken it up into 6 parts. So I'm going to go up 1 over 2, mark it, 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 and then up 1 over 2, and it's my final done. So now that I've finished this, how many pieces is the line on the graph broken up into? 6. So I did a good job. I broke it up into the right amount. Where do I want to put P? So this one? On the line I drew up here, P was next to T. Over here, what letter? Yeah, so I need to make sure I'm looking at where my letters are. This one is going to be my P. Okay, so what's the coordinate point of P? -3, -4. So, same thing over here, except this time I have to plot the points myself. So, -8, -5 is my first point. One, 2, 3, 4. That one is A. My second point is 4, 3. And then what should I do with my 2 points? Connect them. Okay, so how many points am I going up from A to B? I know the lines on this one are kind of hard. 8, and then how many am I going left to right? 12. So what do I want to do with this one? It gives me 3/4. So if I sketch out this line, I want to break it up into 4 parts. Where would I put P on this line? Close to A or close to B? Or in the middle? Close to B. And how many parts is this line in? 4. So I want to take these and divide by 4. So 8 divided by 4 gives us 2. So we're going to go up 2. And then 12 divided by 4 gives us 3. So we're going to go right 3. And I'm going to keep up that pattern until I have all of my dots drawn. Okay, which one do I want to put P at? This first, second, or third one? The third one. And my coordinate point is 1, 1. Okay, so same idea for the next one. My first point is 3, -9. And that letter is C. My next one is 9, 6. And that letter is D. So then I connect them. When I sketch out this line over here, how many parts do I want to break it up into? 3. And where do I want to put P? Next to C or next to D? Be careful, it says from D to C. Next to D. Then I want to figure out how many squares it's going up. Okay. And how many is it going to the right? 6. So what number do I want to divide these two by? 3, because I'm breaking it up into 3 parts. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So for my new one, I'm going to go up 5. And then 6 divided by 3 is 2. So I'm going to go right 2. And plot my new point. Then I go up 5 again. Right 2. Plot that point. Up 5, right 2, and it should take me back to the end. So which one do I want to be P? This first one or the second one? Second. And what's my coordinate point? 7, 1. Okay, so same idea, last one. I want to go ahead and plot it. I'm going to go negative 7, 8. That letter is E. Then my second point is 5, 3, or 5, negative 3. And that one is F. When I've plotted the 2 points, I want to connect them. So I'm going to sketch this out. How many parts do I want to break this one up into? 5. And how many dots over do I want to put P from E? 1, 2, 3, or 4? 2, because it's 2/5. Okay, how many am I going down from E to F? And how many am I going right from E to F? 12. Okay. So what number do I want to divide these two by? 5. 11 divided by 5. Use your calculator. .2. So this one I want to go down 2.2. I'm going to sketch it out and then we'll use math to get our final answer. And then I want to do 12 divided by 5, which gets us 2.4. So instead of trying to look at this graph and figure it out, I am going to, where should P be? Yeah. So P should be there. And we said it's 2 after E, so E was negative 7, 8. So what we did to our negative 7 is we kept adding the 2.4, right? We kept going 2.4 to the right, and we did that twice. So what's negative 7 plus 2.4 plus 2.4? Negative 2.2, right? Okay. And then for my y value, I was going down 2.2, so I want to subtract 2.2 twice. So my coordinate point here for P is negative 2.2, comma 3.6.